Welcome in to another lesson of A Course in Miracles. Today we are on lesson 13, A Meaningless World Engenders Fear. That's after our lesson from yesterday, which is I am upset because I see a meaningless world. So let's take a moment, get grounded, get in the present moment, open ourselves up to receiving what the lesson has for us today. Just settling in, relaxing, closing your eyes if you're able to. And if you're unable to, based on driving or anything like that, you can still use the breath, clear out the mind. And bring yourself into the only time there really is, which is right here, right now. Let's just take some breaths together in through the nose. And out through the mouth. Allowing all other thoughts and distractions to gently fade away into the distance. As you bring your full attention to the breath, breathing in and letting the breath go. And if you ever feel like you need to pause to just give yourself some more time to get grounded, feel free to do so. Otherwise, you can bring your attention back to the space as we move into lesson 13. A meaningless world engenders fear. So today's idea is really another form of I'm upset. I'm upset because I see a meaningless world. Except that it is more specific as to the emotion that's aroused, the fear. Actually, a meaningless world is impossible. Nothing without meaning exists. However, it does not follow that you will not think that you perceive or see something that has no meaning. On the contrary, you will be particularly likely to think that you do perceive it. As I was reading over this, I was thinking, there's so many real examples of how that shows up. Even, for example, if somebody doesn't text or message you back, you could create an entire story about what that means or what that's about, even though it doesn't really exist. And I mean, there's so many examples of that if we're honest with ourselves on a day-to-day basis, of believing that we see something that truly is not there. Recognition of meaninglessness induces or arouses intense anxiety in all the separated ones. It represents a situation in which God and the ego challenge each other as to whose meaning is to be written in the empty space that meaninglessness provides. The ego rushes in frantically to establish its own ideas there, fearful that the void may otherwise be used to demonstrate the ego's own impotence and unreality. And on this alone is the ego correct. So it's essential, therefore, that you learn to recognize the meaningless and to accept the meaningless without fear. If you are fearful, it is certain that you will endow the world with attributes that it does not possess and crowd it with images that do not exist. To the ego, illusions are safety devices, as they must be to you who equate yourself with the ego. And I sometimes like to change out the word ego for body or for my name. Yeah, I do. I equate myself with a body, equate myself with Megan, see myself as separate from other people, right? And so that part of me views illusions as safety. The exercises for today, which should be done about 3 or 4 times for not more than a minute or so at most each time, are to be practiced in a somewhat different way than the preceding ones. With eyes closed, repeat today's idea to yourself. Then open your eyes and look about you slowly, saying, I am looking at a meaningless world. Repeat this statement to yourself as you look about. Then close your eyes and conclude with, a meaningless world engenders fear because I think I am in competition with God. I think I'm in competition with love, if that feels more comfortable. And you may find it difficult to avoid resistance in one form or another to this concluding statement, that a meaningless world engenders fear because you think you're in a competition with God, or I think I'm in a competition with God. Whatever form such resistance may take, remind yourself that you are really afraid of such a thought because of the vengeance of the enemy. You are not expected to believe this statement. You're not expected to believe this statement at this point, and will probably dismiss it as being preposterous. Note carefully, however, any sign of overt or covert fear which it may arouse. This is our first attempt at stating an explicit cause and effect relationship of a kind which you are very inexperienced in recognizing. Don't dwell on the concluding statement and try not even to think of it except during the practice periods. That will suffice at present. And that's one of the biggest things I'm getting from going through these lessons day by day, and the way it builds on each other. It's like when I try to jump ahead to those next questions or what does that mean, it's like, nope, just be where you are at today. And today we are at a meaningless world engenders fear. So we'll start off the practice period. It's just going to be for about a minute or so. Closing our eyes, repeating the lesson, a meaningless world engenders fear. And whenever you're ready, you can open your eyes and look around. I'm looking at a meaningless world. Then closing your eyes whenever you're ready. A meaningless world engenders fear because I think I'm in competition with God. All right, so 3 to 4 of these practice periods today, not more than a minute or so, and you don't even have to think about it in between. Especially that second statement, and I appreciate it says we don't have to understand. Nope, we just get to keep moving along to our next lesson. So I'll look forward to joining with you tomorrow, and I hope you're having such a beautiful day.